Good morning, darlings. So gorgeous to be with you for today's Cuppa with Katie show. Thank you so much for joining me. As you are arriving live, let me know, say hi. And of course, if you're on the replay, please also say hello. If you type in hashtag replay, that will alert me that you're watching and I can say hi. And of course, if you've got any questions or comments, or anything that you want to share while I'm live, just throw that into the comments and I will read if I can while I'm here live. Otherwise, I'll respond later on. But lovely, lovely to have you. Thank you for joining me on this gorgeous spring day. I feel like although spring did officially begin some time ago in the UK, I think those of us here could all agree it began yesterday. And it is very welcomed. And I don't know about you, but I personally feel such a rush of new energy in my system. I feel a real excitement, a lot of hope, a lot of optimism. I feel like that, I mean, this is what spring does, right? There's this sort of rebirthing energy. I feel really confident to let go of what needs to be let go of and allow in the new, because this is the energy of the new and I can feel the new and it feels real and possible right now. I think weather really does help us with that, doesn't it? The new seasons really help us with that. So I'm really feeling this optimism and this hope and excitement, which allows me to more easily let go of what I just don't need anymore, what's not important anymore, right? Lovely to have you, darlings. Good morning. Good morning, Charlie. How awesome that you're here live. Hello, darling. So good to have you. Some of you I might get to see in person soon. If you haven't already noticed, I'm running an in-person get together and event, a very boutique event. It's only for a maximum of 23 women because the beautiful private space I've hired, which is called the Alchemy Room, it's in London, will only take 24 of us. So it will be a very beautiful little boutique experience. It will run from 12 to 5 on the 21st of April. It's a Friday. And my whole intention for that day is to reset your energy, take your hand and guide you forwards towards your desires. I really want to reset you on your desires and really help you to tap into what's possible for you. While we do that, the natural course of the process of that will be to uncover very naturally what's blocking you and choosing to let that go together, being witnessed by me, being witnessed by other really cool women. We're going to just let go and choose to call in what we're going to call in. And I'm going to guide you through some beautiful processes, including some visualizations. We're going to tap into your magic. We're going to tap into your intuition. We're going to tap into your higher power and call in what you're meant for. So that's what we're doing on the 21st of April, which is only 3 weeks away. So if you're going to come, please come. It's 50% sold at the moment. If you would like a ticket to come along, please hurry up and grab that before the final places go, because I do feel like we are going to sell all of them. Vieira, I believe you're coming, right? I can't wait. Yeah, I really can't wait to be in person again. It's so great. Zoom is great. And StreamYard's great and Facebook's great and this technology is all great, but I love to be with you in person. And it's interesting, with that invitation to, yes, Vieira's coming. I can't wait to give you a hug. So good to be in person, isn't it? Yeah, with me releasing this event, it's been so interesting to read some of the responses from people who are saying they really, really, really want to be there and they're gutted that they can't because of XYZ. And so I'm not shaming here or anything. It's just that it really, really has highlighted to me the rules that we make for ourselves, the reasons I'm being given for people not being able to come. Now, maybe they're all legit. Who am I to say? And I know, because I know it's the human experience and I know that I do it, we can be very quick to dismiss the things that we want. It's not just this event, it's all the things that we want in our life. because of certain rules that we are choosing, it's an important word there, that we are choosing to live by. And these rules rationalize and justify for us why we can't have the thing that we want. And I'm not okay with that. So, I mean, the whole not the whole premise, but a large premise of the work that I do with the women in my community, with my private clients, the work that I do, a large premise of that is about really owning the truth of who you are, really knowing what it is that you're about, what your values are, what you desire, and unapologetically going after those, unapologetically allowing yourself to receive those, and not allowing yourself to succumb to subconscious, unconscious programming that's not allowing you to have the thing that you want. Like, I'm not okay with that. We have to wake up, we have to get conscious, and we have to live in choice. So let me give you a couple of the things that I've heard people say about why they can't come to the event. And I know, like, please know, like, some of you will be listening and you'll hear me say it. You'll be like, shit, I was the one that said that. I'm not shaming you. I'm not making you wrong. In fact, what I'm going to do as part of this chat is invite you to empower yourself to really own your choices rather than give your power away to excuses as to why you can't have the thing that you want. I want you to be in choice, and I want you to question your decisions. And it's not just about the event. It's about all the things in life, because how we do one thing is how we do everything. So I'm hoping that what I open up for you here now will have you start to see, oh my God, I do that. And then I want you to question yourself, like, do a bit of self-inquiry. Where else do I do that in my life? How do I do that in my relationships? How do I do that in my work? How do I do that around money? How do I do that around my health? Like, really look at the different aspects of your life. The cat is about to do acrobatics. Look at how you do that in your life, and like where that plays out in multiple different areas of your life. Sorry, I'm a little distracted for a moment because the cat, you know what cats are like? And the cat right now, she's got a very cheeky, mischievous energy going on, and she wants to get into all the things. And my office, you can't see it right now, although it's organized. It's an organized mess because I'm moving country. Right, Lena, don't you? She wants to go out. Can you give me a second? And she wants to get into all the boxes. She wants to do all the things. Come on, you little monkey. Go on, out you go. Go on, out you go. Good girl. I'm back. Thank you. Yeah, she's trying to get into all the boxes and just, I mean, she was in my tissue box a second ago. She's pulling all the tissues out, thinking she might be able to get into the tissue box. She's not getting in the she's a small cat, but she's not that small. Okay, so how we do one thing is how we do everything. Here's some of the reasons that I have been given for women not being able to come to our afternoon of alchemy. One is, well, actually, they're all really similar. It's something that is always kind of along the lines of, I've already taken a holiday. I can't take any more days off from my job. I get that. I understand that. That sounds very rational, reasonable. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. I can't take any more days off work. I've already taken days off. Or I've been unwell and had to take time off already. Or, I mean, that's pretty much it, actually, come to think of it. Various reasons for, well, I've already had time away from work, whether it was sickness, whether just I've taken a holiday, whatever. I've chosen to take time off already. I can't take another day. That will only wash with me if I can't take another day is in alignment with your values, and you're owning that I really value my job. I really value my employer. I value the work that I do, and I want to be there. I want to be there. I I feel like I have had the time away from work that I need. I don't need any more time. I My commitment to my work, my commitment to my clients, my commitment to my employer is greater and of more value to me than what else is on offer. And if that is your truth, awesome. Own it. The reason why you aren't coming to my event isn't because you've taken too much time off already. It's just not the reason. The reason is I'm choosing to go to work because, fill in the blanks. I love it. I value it. I honor my commitment, etc. Otherwise, you are really giving your power away to a truth, a rule that you have essentially made up, or somebody said once, and you've decided to buy into that as your truth. Therefore, you can't have the thing that you want. I'm very lucky to be self-employed, right? I've been an entrepreneur for very, very many years. I've contracted out my services even when I was working in the events world. Largely, I was a contractor. So I've always been very, very much in charge of my time. I could still make up rules, though, that wouldn't allow me to have the thing that I wanted. And I've become very good at this is why I'm encouraging you in this. I've become very good at questioning the rules because I've decided that my desires are more important than any rule I may have made up, or somebody said once, or society dictates that. Dot dot dot. I remember once I was invited to a retreat. The retreat was in Mexico. I really, really, really wanted to go, and it was expensive. And it was in a few days' time. It was starting in a few days' time. And I had a small child. And I had already booked, now let me think about this. I'd already booked to go to an event. It was with Mind Valley. It was called A Fest, and it was being held in Mykonos in Greece, a Greek island. So I'd already booked to go to this event. It was several days. I think it would have been a week that I would have been on Mykonos at this amazing A Fest event, which is a bit like TED Talks meets kind of a festival vibe meets, I don't know, but it was amazing. Lots of incredible transformational speakers, amazing parties. Yeah, very, very cool event. So I'd booked that. That wasn't a cheap investment. Required time away from home, required time away from my son, required time away from my business. A couple of weeks later, I had also booked to go to my friend's hotel opening for 2 or 3 days, which was in Morocco. Time away from business, son, it was an investment. And then this retreat that I was invited to in Mexico, it was all the M's, it was Mykonos, Mexico, Morocco, was right in the middle of it, which would require more time away from all the things and more money. I really, really wanted to do it, though. My initial response was, I can't. I can't because I've already taken lots of time off from work. I've already invested a lot of money in myself, my transformation, social life, traveling, all these values that are very high value to me. Like I've already invested a lot in that. I'd already taken time away from my son. I couldn't possibly ask for more help with my son. I couldn't ask his dad to have him for more days because I've already used up my quota. I'm already managing to go away on dates that align with when my son was meant to be with his dad anyway. And I'd already asked for some extra time. I couldn't ask for more time. I couldn't give myself permission to spend more money on me. I couldn't change more things in the calendar for work. I had commitments. right? All these reasons, very, very similar to what I'm hearing from women who were not able to come to the event in London on the 21st of April. So I really get it. Like, this is what we do because it's quite easy to go, I just can't. Because actually it's going to take quite a lot of thought, quite a lot of willpower, quite some logistics, some figuring out to make the thing happen. Let me have a sip. It really, I remember feeling soul destroyed to say no to the retreat in Mexico because my soul, which doesn't make any sense, it often our soul calling when that we get that whisper of, oh, I really want that, doesn't always make sense in the first instance, but there's no denying it. And I felt soul destroyed to say no. And so I had to tap into my daring and mighty self. And I had to remember that my desires are more important than anything. And they're meant for me. And I am intelligent enough, capable enough, resourceful enough to figure it out. There's always a way. Sometimes we have to say no to stuff. Excuse me, I now need a tissue. I get it. Sometimes we have to say no, and we have to trust in divine timing, and we have to trust that something even better is coming our way. And if we feel deeply, deeply called to something, I believe it is our responsibility to do our best to figure a way around that and give ourselves a thing that we really want. And I did for that trip. I mean, it was crazy what I did. I mean, in the end, I got so resourceful and got so blue sky thinking on how could I make Mykonos, Mexico, and Morocco work? How could I do that? I remember I had a virtual assistant at the time, and we had this excellent, excellent relationship. She had been a client of mine as well. And I remember calling her saying, hey, I don't suppose you fancy a little holiday in Mykonos, do you? She's like, yes. I said, well, so here's the thing. I want to do all these events, but I don't want to have so much time away from my son. I said, how would you feel about flying out to Mykonos with my son and bringing him out? We have a little holiday together because I had a bit of time in between things. She's like, yeah. So I paid for her to fly out and have a little holiday with my son and I. It was a way of me being able to do the A-Fest event on my own. And I was single at the time, by the way. So this was a really important piece for me because this was me putting myself in environments where I felt like my man might be hanging out. That was part of what was going on for me at the time. So she flew out with him and I managed to have, oh my God, you're here. I didn't want to say, Linz was about to say, and now she's living in Turkey and she's amazing. But I was like, oh, I should just keep some anonymity here. But you just outed yourself. So that was Linz. And Lindsay, very kindly, and we ended up having such a fun time. She flew out with my son. Like, that was real blue sky thinking. I'm like, how can I do all these trips, not miss out on time with my son, actually create even more quality time with my son? And then Lindsay came out. We had a little holiday together. It was cool. She stayed on. Finn and my son and I flew back home. So we just had that real quality time before I then jetted off to Mexico. And I managed to arrange, line everything up that I flew direct from Mexico to Morocco rather than come back to the UK. I somehow managed to save some money on the flights. I totally managed to reschedule everything that needed rescheduling. I had some coaching calls that I did when I was out in Morocco, I believe, from memory. It's a long time ago now. Anyway, it all worked out. It all worked out. And yeah, the investment financially was pretty large. And I don't remember all the specifics, but I do remember it costing me a lot less than I thought it was going to. I remember there being some money miracles around this, because when we're living into the truth of who we are, when we're following our desires, miracles happen. Life, God, the universe supports us. I had money miracles. I think I probably had a new client. It's usually what happens for me when I follow my desires. Clients come in, pays for the thing that I wanted. And I get to work with that awesome person as well. I created tons of inspiring content from those 3 different experiences. I know for sure, I remember that because of that content, clients came in, because women were looking at how I was living my life and they're like, holy shit, how is she doing that? I want to learn how to do that too. I had some beautiful new clients come in off the back of that experience because of the content that was created. I was doing lives from all these amazing different destinations. Like, everything just worked out. And I did not feel soul destroyed. My soul was filled up. I had incredible life-changing experiences. In fact, there was a guy that I met in Mykonos. He wasn't my guy. The friendship, however, that I created with him ended up being the route to me meeting James. Because it was that guy that maybe a year later said to me, you should jump onto Bumble. And so it happened. So, right, like when we follow the desires of our heart, who the hell do we think we are to know what could actually really come from that? Like, only God knows. And that's where miracles happen. So the ripple effect of you listening to your desires and saying yes to the thing that's being offered to you, you don't know what that is now. And you certainly can't say yes to the thing that's being offered to you with expectation of, well, there will be ripple effects and I'll get other things from this, because that's like a needy energy. It's not an energy of openness and receiving and surrender. But do you see where I'm going with this? Like, if I'd let the rules stop me, hell, I may never have met James. I may never have got to work with the women I got to work with because of how inspired they were by the choices I was making at the time. I'd have never had the life-changing experiences I had. I mean, I could go on and on and on. So worth it. Yeah, Lindsay's saying what an amazing holiday that was. Totally. And Lindsay, you're like walking, talking proof of what's possible. You know, Lindsay's just relocated from the UK to Turkey, where she's now working. And oh my gosh, I mean, we've been messaging. She's been reaching out to me because she's watching the process I'm going through with moving country. She's just done it. She knows the blocks, she knows the fears, she knows the logistical challenges. She knows all the big decisions that need making, some of them heart-wrenching. She knows. She's freaking daring and mighty, and she is living aligned with her desires. And what excites me the most is, and I know Linz won't mind me saying now, you know, she was a client of mine many years ago now. And I remember we were on retreat in Portugal. She was part of a group that I was running at the time, and we were on retreat in Portugal. And I will never forget her speaking and claiming her big vision of living in a warm country near the beach and being able to work from there. And she's now doing it. She's overcome everything, every rule. And she's overcome that because she's daring and mighty. And she's living her dream. And she sent me video. And she's in this great little apartment. You can see the beach at the end of her street. So cool. Oh yes, remember the big vision thinking, how much I was resisting drawing my future self, and I'm here now. Big vision thinking and connecting to your desires is so key. There we go. My pleasure, my darling. Yeah, and you said drawing your future self, because that was a little thing, a little exercise that we did, isn't it? When we were on that retreat, is we were creating vision boards, and I invited you to draw your future self. Or I think we were creating vision boards and you said that you wanted, did you say you wanted to draw rather than cut out pictures? I don't know, but you ended up drawing it. You were resisting the big vision though, because it seems so freaking impossible. didn't it? Yeah. So, yeah, Vieira, it's a great story. It's a really great story. I love that one. So, I mean, there's a chapter in my book. I pulled it out. In fact, I might, you know what? We've got time. I might just read this bit. You're saying I did the terrible drawing, but you got the drift. I remember the drawing vividly. I remember it vividly. So good. Yeah, so there's a chapter in my book, if you don't have it, it's called The Self-Love Affair, A Woman's Guide to a Daring and Mighty Life. Hence, I keep referring to daring and mighty, because I'm all about women being daring and mighty. And there's a chapter right towards the end called What Do You Value? And I talk you through how to identify your highest values and then how to live into them. And one way to live into your desires is to create your life rules. So there's an exercise in here where you actually are invited, and you guys can do this. I invite you to sit down and write your life rules. Like, what are you choosing to unapologetically live in alignment with? And get really super clear on that. And in fact, I will take the time now to read mine. There are 22 life rules that I've written in here. They're all pretty much still the same for me. I could probably add a few more. There's a couple on here that I still don't have. It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen for me. Like, for example, number 19 is I live by the sea. I don't live by the sea. I'm sure to take holidays by the sea as often as possible. I visit the sea as often as possible. It's only a 20-minute drive down the road. But I don't live right by the sea, which is what I meant. But hey, it's coming. Let me read you my life rules. And let me invite you to write your own life rules. I know Lindsay would have done this exercise. So my life rules were, when I wrote this book back in 2015, when I was single, I love myself unconditionally. I honor my spirit and nurture myself with activities that feed my soul. My son has the best of me always. Yep, true to this day. I am a student of life. Learning something new every day means I'm growing and being inspired. Yes. My work is my joy and inspiration. I'm designed to work with passion and balance. Yes. And I'm living into that more and more and more. Time out creates time. Yes. See, these are rules, right? And when you declare your rules, you begin to live into it. It begins to become your new normal. Like, once upon a time, I did not believe that time out creates time. I know now that it does, and I live by it. Like, it's interesting to me as I read this list to you. When I wrote this, it wasn't so easy to write because a lot of my conditioning and programming had to shift to make these rules my new normal. Yeah. Who's that saying hello? Who's that? Hello. All right. I expect financial abundance because I know there is limitless supply for all. Financial freedom allows me to support my highest values. Like, that's totally normal. I remember when I wrote that, I wanted that to be a rule that I deeply believed. I wanted to believe it. I didn't quite believe it yet. Now I do, because I made it a life rule. I love to travel, so I plan at least 10 trips a year that involve getting on a plane. An injection of new cultures, languages, and food is soul nourishing. I have largely done that for most of the years since I wrote this book. Obviously through COVID, not so much. I plan get-togethers with friends and family. I am even brave enough to cook for them. I love to entertain, and I love to be surrounded by the energy of high vibrational people. Yeah. I plan time away with my gal pals. Yeah. I listen to inspired thought. I take hints from the universe. Then I take action. I start my day with an intention. I choose every day to accept where I am, to feel my emotions, knowing that passing through them means getting to the other side. The other side is an evolved, fully present, higher vibrational me. I choose every day to create a life I love. I know my thoughts today are my experience tomorrow. I keep a gratitude and success journal. I have a massage once a month. And I'm glad I've reread that, because I'm going to admit I haven't really fully been living into that one. And I've been having the little whispers saying it's time for a massage. So I'm going to book one. I have a cleaner. Yeah, I remember when I wrote that. I have a cleaner. That was like, what? As a life rule, I have a cleaner. It felt so indulgent. I did not have a cleaner for most of my life until just before I wrote this book. Now that's normal. I get along really well with my cleaner, by the way. I am well supported in my business and I'm surrounded by high vibrational expert colleagues. Yes, I am. If you're a member of my Love Lounge, and if you're not, you might want to come on in. The Love Lounge is full of high vibrational expert colleagues. I've created that because it's a life rule. I live by the sea. Not yet. Watch this space. I'm moving to Alabama. There's no sea there either. It's a 5-hour drive to the Mexican Gulf. I eat well and respect what I put into my body. Yes. I meditate regularly and committed to my spiritual practices. Yes. I create time for fun and mischief. Yes. I remember writing that because I was up to a lot of mischief at the time. So we have to write our life rules. Oh, Claudia, hello, my love. Great to have you. Hi, Kath. Good to see you too, darling. Write your life rules. Be really intentional about that. I mean, just notice as you go through your day, it might be a good place to start is to just set the intention, perhaps every day for the next week, to notice what rules you are living into, remembering how we do one thing is how we do everything. And what could shift? What could you challenge? What else could be true? Like, okay, so lately, I follow the midlife mentors. I know a bunch of you here do as well. They had a challenge last week. They're amazing. I love them. Claire and James. And they're talking about doing fasting and how we should fast quite regularly, and how, don't quote me, but I don't know, is it 12 hours? Is it 18 hours? Something like that between dinner and breakfast. We should make that a regular thing. And I was like, oh yeah, I mean, I've been doing that for years. And I genuinely put that, and I don't do it so consciously. I don't sort of tell myself I'm fasting, because if I create a rule, Katie, you have to fast, I will rebel against it. There's something really important to notice with rules. They have to be really aligned for you. And you might have to, or you will have to, write your life rules in a way that don't feel remotely restrictive. They have to feel lush. They have to feel abundant. They have to feel really juicy and great and exciting, right? So I do fast, but I don't tell myself I'm fasting, because I would probably make breakfast burgers if I told myself I was fasting. But I don't tend to have breakfast until 10, half 10. And even then it's a smoothie, full of all the yummy things and all the really important things for my hormonal health, my brain health, all that. And that's just something I do. And I know that because I fast most days and don't have breakfast really early, and I make sure that my first breakfast is like super, super high quality in terms of nutrition, I maintain a very steady, good weight. That works for me. But, that old life rule that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, you cannot leave the house without having breakfast, it's bullshit. That's a really interesting rule. Now, that might work for some people, depends on your makeup, your metabolism, your lifestyle. We could go on. That was mine for many years. Like, I must have breakfast. As soon as I wake up, I must go and make a bowl of cereal or have a piece of toast. It was not serving me. It didn't even work for me. Now I get up, I'll have a cup of tea, I'll have my drink, all my things first thing, but it's liquid. and then I'll walk the dog, so I'll go do some exercise or I'll go to the gym. Like, I will work out before having breakfast, and then I come home and have my smoothie. That keeps me going for most of the day, as it happens. I used to live by the rule, you gotta have breakfast. It's a stupid rule. It doesn't work for everybody. It's so what rules are you living by? What, you have to work 9 to 5, 5 days a week? Well, that's an interesting rule. How's that working out for you? How does that make you feel? What other rules? I would love for you guys to tell me some rules that you know you're living by that aren't serving you. Like, tell me, can we use the chat? Even if you're on replay, I will still read it. What rules do you know that you live by that it's time to change up? Or what rules have you changed? Like, inspire us. What rules did you notice that you were living by and you changed them up and it feels better for you now? Lindy's here. Hello, Lindy. And you are not even allowed a pool yet. Yes, exactly, Lindy. Yeah, that's an interesting rule that somebody else has made up. That's not one of my life rules. You're talking about living near the beach. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Lindsay is saying, I'm going to write new life rules. It's been a while. Yeah, rewrite them. It's probably, to be honest, I need to rewrite my life rules as well. I mean, I haven't formally done it. What I do have a practice of though is consciously and intentionally checking in with the rules I make and challenging them, like I did on that for that trip to Mexico. Like, it's just kind of become quite ingrained for me to challenge rules, especially if the rules tell me I can't have the thing that I want. So my inner rebel definitely gets heard when it comes to challenging rules. I must get it all done rule. You've changed that one, haven't you, Lindy? Yeah, screw that rule. Stomp on that rule, burn that rule, shred the rule. You don't have to get it all done. And that is a game-changing rule to change. So I love that, Lindy. Thank you for sharing that one. Natalie, hello, Natalie, lovely to have you. Having to wake up early to be productive. No. Oh my gosh, exactly. That is such a great one. Having to wake up early to be productive. No, that works for some people. I mean, I'm reflecting on last year a lot at the moment, and I was getting up at 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock very, very regularly last year. In fact, this time specifically last year, I was getting up at 4 and 5 because I was launching some things and it felt really important to me. It wasn't sustainable, and it worked for me because I wanted to be available for my son during the day. So the way I managed to do the work I needed to get done, wanted to get done, and be really present for my son was to get up before him. And in the Easter holidays, which we're in now, he doesn't get up until gone 11. So I would have from sort of 4, 5 in the morning until 11, and that was my work day. And I got everything done then. Then I'd have the whole afternoon, evening with him. And that was really, really, really important at the time in particular. His dad had just passed away. I needed to be present. I needed to be with him. I needed to be available to him. So I got a significant amount of work done in the morning. I don't do that now. No. You know, there's seasons for everything, right? Which is why it's important to change our life rules as and when needed and move with our natural rhythms. Like, I can't do that now because of where I'm at hormonally. Like, it just wouldn't work for me to be getting up at 4 or 5 in the morning at the moment. Just no. And so we're allowed to shift and change. And that could be a life rule. A life rule could be, I choose to work in a way that feels in flow for me, that is aligned for me, right? Always. And that could be different today to how it will be tomorrow, even. It could be different this month to next month. And that's okay. And that could be a life rule. My life rule is I honor my own needs, my own seasons, my own flow. I honor how I feel. And I trust that I can work aligned with that to be productive. Like, I know I'm way more productive when I work aligned with me rather than if I work 9 to 5, because that's what someone told me to do once upon a time. So I love that you brought that up, Natalie. Thank you. It's really, really good. Really good. Viera, old shit rule was that I had to work for long hours to do quality work and bring value. Stupid. Right? Stupid rule. Yeah. Love it. It's just not true. Quality and value comes from delivering and being of service from an overflow state, from an abundant place. You've got so much gorgeous energy to give and share, not from a shriveled up, I'm exhausted, I've been working long hours and wearing the badge of I've worked long hours. I mean, I used to be that girl. I used to work in PR and advertising. I used to work in events management. It was a thing. It was like I pulled an all-nighter, wearing the badge, like it's something to be proud of. I was exhausted. Funnily enough, a friend just popped over. I was looking after their dog last night. It's my dog's girlfriend. You might have seen it on my stories on Instagram and Facebook. So we had a doggy sleepover last night, and they just came to take their dog away. And he came and he said, Katie, you're looking so well at the moment. And I saw them on the weekend. He said, I noticed on the weekend as well. And just recently, he said, you look really, really well. What's going on? Like, what are you doing differently? And I said, I'm not working that much. I'm not launching new products. I'm not like I've really taken a back seat in my business. And I'm only doing what feels really, really easy and joyful and juicy for me at the moment because I'm managing an international house move. And I'm just not working hard. I'm working cleverly. And the business isn't suffering. Business is doing great. I'm just not launching a whole ton of new stuff this year. I did a lot of that last year. So it's all ticking over this year so I can move country. Yeah. So I'm not showing up to my private clients like, oh, I'm exhausted. I'm trying to launch. I'm trying to do all the things in the business and I'm trying to move country. No, I'm like, I'm managing my energy. Otherwise, I would not be bringing quality and value to my clients. It would be too much for me to move country and work the way I worked last year. That would just be stupid. I could do it. Would I feel good? Would I be able to deliver value and quality? No. I definitely need to write my life rules. I've never done it. Claudia, now is your time. This is the universal invitation to you. Apparently, the time is now. I felt so bad for waking up later all my life. Yeah. We're told it's not okay. You got to get up, seize the day. Sometimes you got to sleep in. Yeah. Cool, Natalie. We're on the same page. Catching whenever I use the word should and checking what else could be true. See, now that is an awesome life rule right there. Whenever you find yourself saying the word should, stop that. What else could be true? And that is game changing as well. And we can do that with our life rules. So thank you for sharing that, Charlie. So over the next week, if you're really up for the challenge, notice your life rules, notice what you're living by, and ask yourself, do I have to live aligned with that rule, or could something else be true? Like, could something else be possible? What might that be? What else could be true? So, okay, so to go back to Natalie, when she was saying, what did you say, Natalie? You said having to wake up early to be productive. Is it true that I'm not productive unless I wake up early? Like, do I know 100%, like it's actual absolute fact that it's true that I have to wake up early to be productive? No. What else could be true? That I don't have to wake up early to be productive. What else could be true? And play the tape through. What else could be true? I will deliver greater value and higher service if I start work a bit later. If I work in alignment with my own rhythms, with my own seasons, with my own flow, I will actually deliver better content, provide a better service, be more heart-led, more passionate. And remember, our energy is everything. People feel our energy when it comes to calling in new business. People feel your energy. And people do not want to work with, especially in this coaching world, women don't want to work with me if I'm like a shriveled up, exhausted wreck. That's not inspiring. My clients need to be inspired. So I have to lead the way with that. And I wouldn't be surprised that no matter what line of business you're in, the people that you're serving, your clients, they want to be inspired by you too. They want to enjoy being in your energy. Charlie's also said, actively not aiming for perfection with everything. Oh my God. Yeah. Acknowledging that good enough is a powerful approach. Yeah. Good enough is a very powerful approach. So what you're doing there is deleting the life rule of I have to be perfect, everything has to be perfect, and good enough. And Charlie, obviously I know you, and your level of good enough is somebody else's perfect. It's all perspective, right? Vieira, that sounds great. I'll replay and add that to my rules. Awesome. Yes. So, darlings, today's conversation wasn't to shame any of you that said, I can't come to Katie's event, even though I want to. I just want you to be in your power around your choices. That's it. I want you to be in your power around them. I want you to honor your desires rather than come up with excuses. I want you to put on your big girl pants and be daring and mighty and figure out what needs figuring out so that you can honor your desires. Because when you do, the ripple effect is always going to be like mega, because it always is when we honor our desires. Our desires aren't just a thing that we want. Our desires are a communication from our soul. And the energy of that is so powerful. So imagine what miracles get created when you live aligned with that. Yeah. And if you want to come to my event on the 21st of April, you're so welcome to. And if you're on my mailing list, you would have seen an email that went out this morning where I sent you the details for the alchemy afternoon, as well as I let you know other ways that you can work with me at the moment. So even though I'm taking it slowly right now and concentrating on my move, I'm still working, I'm still serving, and I do have the capacity for a couple more private clients at the moment, and I'm doing a very special offer this month. That's on the email. But in a nutshell, if you commit to working with me in a 12-month container, which a lot of women prefer because it just gives us lots of time and space to just kind of expand into and go on a real journey together, I'm offering a 12-month container with 3 months of that free. So that's, my sister called me this morning. She's like, I saw your offer. Are you sure? That's really good. So I'm like, yeah, no, that feels really, really good and juicy and expansive for me right now. So I feel very ready to start a 12-month journey with a couple of women. So if that's you, let me know, because I'm doing a special offer until the end of April. I think it's the 30th is the end of April. It's 3 months free when you invest in 12 months coaching, and there's always a payment plan. And the minimum quantity of time you can work with me privately is 3 months. And I'm taking £1,000 off my 3-month offering as well. So all you need to do is book a call with me, and we can have a conversation. It's a free conversation where we just explore if private coaching is the next right move for you. And if it is, we'll do that. And if it's not private coaching, don't forget, I've got the Love Lounge membership. You're so welcome to come into there. That's £49 a month with a minimum 6-month commitment. And it's an awesome, awesome community with so much on offer. And I am, no one knows this yet, even the members. What will I share about that? I'm just about to offer more in that membership, put it that way. There will be, I'm about to offer it with weekly Monday morning meditations and intention setting. So watch this space. So yeah, we have the Love Lounge, we have private coaching, which is on offer this month. Of course, we've got all of our online courses at the School of Self-Love. So just if you go to theschoolofself.love, take a look at all of our home study courses. If you are ready to love yourself unapologetically, there's a course for that, and it's all home study. That's on our website. Just click on the tab courses. And of course, yeah, we've got the Alchemy Afternoon in London, which is my last chance to be in person with you in the UK for probably quite a long time before I move to the States. So if that feels like you're being called to that, we've got some tickets available for that too. And all the links for all of these things are above. All right, darling hearts. So good to have spent some time with you. Thank you for sharing your time with me. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. Love you tons. Bye.